Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Before we get rolling, I do have to call one of our council members who is not present, and we will get him brought into the meeting.
Hi, if you record your name and reason for calling, I'll see if this person is available.
David Horton, calling from council.
Thanks, David Horton. Please stay on the line.
Hello.
Hi, Guy. It's David. How are you?
Okay.
We're here at council, and we will ask you here in just 1 second if you want to participate, okay?
Yes.
All right. We'll begin our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, so we'll ask our Vice Commander of the American Legion to come down.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. You all can use this time, if you would, to join us in a moment of silence that you can use for silent prayer, to prepare for the meeting, or meditation, however you choose to use. All right, thank you very much. Council members, we have a member of council, Guy Wolford, who is not present, who would like to participate. Guy, would you state your name and where you are and the reason that you are not with us this evening?
William Guy Wolford. I'm in Cooper, Texas on vacation.
Okay. Do we have a motion to allow Guy to participate remotely? So moved. We have a motion. Do we have a second? Second. A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And council members, you all have the minutes from our last meeting. Are there any changes, or do we have a motion to approve as submitted?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Second. A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. At this time, we will open the floor for citizen comments on public matters. We'll ask that you please come down to the podium, use the microphone, adjust that so we can be sure to hear you. State your name for the record, and I think the clock will be appearing on the screen, so please limit your comments to 3 minutes or less. We will open the floor now for citizen comment.
Hi. I'm going to just go ahead and say my comment, even though it connects to school board business, but I'm just going to say it at this time. Good evening, Mayor and members of council. We all know each other, but for the record, I'm Gloria Boyd. I'm chair of the Radford City School Board. I'm speaking on behalf of our board members when I say we are exceptionally proud of each of our schools, the faculties and students for their academic performance as evidenced by the new VDOE accreditation standards. Exciting things are happening as our teachers and leadership have embraced the all-in literacy programming and initiatives. We're expanding course offerings and adding more career technical opportunities, including the first Bridge to Excellence manufacturing program that we participated in this year. Our students and teachers have received many awards and recognitions, and we're anxiously awaiting the finalizing of our junior ROTC program, so much to be excited about. So tonight, our board is excited to offer to your full-time employees who live outside the city limits an opportunity to apply for their children to attend Radford City schools and, once accepted, to attend tuition-free. All of them would be expected to follow the same process that anyone else follows when they're applying for tuition status, and families would then be notified once it's approved by the board. We're always happy to welcome new Bobcats. Do you have any questions? No, Radford city employees who live outside the city limits and have children.
Is there any other Radford City employees that are?
I don't know, but tuition applications are filed every year. So if that's the case, then, you know, if they make sure they call that to our attention, that would be addressed.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, right. Teachers, yeah, you mentioned teachers. Teachers already are allowed tuition-free status for their children. So this is something totally different.
Okay, I guess I was just wondering, you know, if we extend it to the two new ones, you know, I would think that we would need to extend it to everyone that is a Radford City employee that doesn't live in the city of Radford that has kids. I would want it to be fair across the board, I guess is what I mean.
Okay, we're extending it to Radford city employees who live outside the city limits.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought
Yeah.
you said you had two new ones that you wanted to start this for. I'm sorry. Okay.
I'm sorry.
I misunderstood you.
If I confused you, I'm really sorry.
That's okay.
Okay.
So across the board, not
so-
just,
yeah.
Sorry.
So we're good now?
I'll just
Okay.
add, I think it's a great idea. This was maybe a year or so back, but I had a police officer who was actually living out of the city limits and approached me about how he really wished his kids could go here, but, you know, at the time, we hadn't been able to do COLAs, this and that, and tuition was a little bit out. So I think that this is a great step for our employees and an added benefit for future Bobcats to come through our school systems. I think it's a great idea, so thank you
It's a
guys.
$1,000 benefit. That is current tuition, yes.
Do we have any idea what that looks like? I mean, is it 50 people that potentially could, 100 people that could? I mean, do we know?
I don't
Do you-
think
Do you
we-
have a budget set aside for it that if, say, 100 people came to you, you'd be able to afford $100,000? It's a $1,000 benefit. What I'm saying is you'd be able to support it regardless of the number that participated?
There's state funding that goes with each enrollment, so that helps us recoup that.
Okay,
But Mrs. Boyd and the board thought it was a great idea for, you know, working with the city, that
sure.
we've made great strides the last few months, and I thought that was a great gesture.
No, I agree.
But
Thank
yes,
you.
that's-
All right.
We'll certainly manage.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The only other tying question to that was kind of on the same note. If there were, our class sizes, we don't foresee any issue. I mean, I can't imagine it would be a ton,
It's been a
but
long time since we've refused a tuition student for class sizes. That's not out of the realm of possibility, but it would have to be a really large class, and we would have to run out of other options first.
in the event that that did happen, would a paying student or a employee student, if it came down to that, how would that
I think then it would be a matter of who applied for tuition first.
first? Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. No, I think it's a great idea. Thank you.
Those are all great questions and comments. Thank you. And I didn't mean to, that was, her.
You knew the answers, I did not, so that's great.
Thank you all.
Thank you all very much. Anyone else with a comment for the public record?
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for your continued service and dedication to the city. My name is Jesse Kelly, and I'm here tonight to introduce you and invite you to an upcoming event. But before I get to that, I'll tell you just a little bit more about myself. I am the executive director for a local nonprofit called Nursery Natives, as well as a mental health counselor and an ecological landscaper. The nonprofit work that I do focuses primarily on the restoration of native ecosystems, food sources, and community. And we accomplish that primarily through local events, such as the Radford Redbud Festival, the Big Plant, and the New River Pawpaw Fest, to name a few. When I think about our greatest resources as a city, quite a few things come to mind. But since we are indeed the New River City, it would be wild for us to not consider the New River as one of our top resources. Moreover, as a recreation-friendly city, we are very fortunate to have some of the best parks and New River access points in the entire New River Valley, in my humble opinion. With this in mind, last November, I submitted a special event application to rent out Shelter 3 at Bissett Park with the intent to actualize an event I've envisioned for the greater half of a decade, New River Day. For this event, I'm partnering with the New River Conservancy, Pac 46 Cub Scouts Troop of Radford, Longway Brewing, and Ameriprise Financial of Radford to organize a community paddle, cookout, and river cleanup. which will be followed by a New River Day of music at Longway Brewing with Neil Wims and Bluesy Soul, as well as Noah Spencer with local eats by L5 Company and Food Truck. Adding to the excitement, the New River Expedition team, organized by the New River Conservancy, will be aligning their journey to join us for the day. This team is currently in the process of paddling over 300 miles of the New from North Carolina to West Virginia, documenting their adventures, the beauty of the region, and the communities they interact with as they embark upon this awesome and ambitious excursion. My hope is that New River Day will bring together an enthusiastic group of residents, students, alumni, and beyond to celebrate and appreciate the New River, highlighting one of our greatest resources. In addition to the primary ingredients, the community paddle, the free cookout, and the river cleanup, I also see many other possibilities that could be incorporated cost-free in future years. In fact, there are a multitude of fundraising opportunities worth consideration. For example, imagine a canoe race, or a fishing tournament, or an art contest celebrating the New River, any of which could involve a small registration fee that goes towards supporting a local cause. We're keeping it simple this year, but are intrigued by the array of ways in which this event could grow without being any sort of an economic burden to the city. So tonight, I'd like to invite you all to join the inaugural New River Day event on Saturday, June 27th, and to ask for your support in creating something special for Radford. Since Friday the 26th is National Canoe and Kayak Day, we thought this would be a fitting day. While I would be grateful to continue facilitating, assisting, and/or participating in this community event for years to come, if there happens to be an interest amongst the group, I'm fully open to a partnership or the possibility of handing over the event to the city. Thank you again for your time and your commitment to growing a better Radford. I welcome any feedback or questions that you may have for me, and I brought along some flyers here as well.
All right, thank you, Jesse, and thank you for coordinating the event. It
Happy
sounds
to.
great.
Happy to. Thank you.
What do the people need to do if they'd like to participate? Is there an advanced sign-up?
There is a Google registration form. We're hoping that most people will do that instead of just showing up, but we're not going to turn people away, obviously, if they don't do
Is
that.
there a way you could pass that along and share that so that we could share it on social media as well, so people would know about that?
Of course. Actually, there's a QR code right in the center of this flyer, and that will take you to the Facebook event, which the Google form is there, but I can email that information to whomever as well.
Okay. I think that'd be great.
Awesome. Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you. Exciting.
right,
Looks
thank
like
y'all.
fun. Does anyone else have any comment for the public record?
My name is Wayne Duncan. I've lived in Radford for 38 years. I do not appreciate the proclamation about the gun sanctuary that was not on the docket, not kept open for public comment, and passed in one meeting without any. I understand that you proposed that there should be public comment. My question is, what state or Radford bylaw or parliamentary process did not putting it on the docket and not keeping it open for public comment, what did it violate? Anybody looked into that, or anybody care to? Should somebody do that?
I can answer your question if you would like for me to, sir.
Sure.
Do you have anything else you want to say before I respond?
Just that I think that was the act of cowards, and you do not represent me. So now you can answer, please.
The council has the ability to amend the agenda, and that was done during the meeting according to Robert's Rules of Order. Now, while I may have preferred that we not do it in that fashion and express that at that time, I don't think anything was violated as far as council's rules. Certainly, publishing it, putting it out, allowing for public comment, things along those lines are best practices that we always strive for, and that's why our agendas and any relevant materials are published prior to the meeting. But it is possible to amend an agenda with a majority of council vote to then take action. Having said that, there is a new law in the Commonwealth of Virginia that beginning July 1st, that no binding action will be able to be taken if a meeting agenda is amended without having prior posted it on the locality's website. So that is a new state law that was passed in the past General Assembly. We're still learning all the particulars about that law, but that would fundamentally change some of that of being able to make an amendment to an agenda and then take a vote on the item for that amendment. Does that help?
Yeah, I understand that. I just wonder why it was so important to do that, to avoid the public comment. Anybody care to answer that? I guess that ends my comments.
Thank you, sir. Okay, does anyone else have a comment for the public record? Seeing none, we will close that portion of our meeting. Council, is there any further response to any of the comments made this evening? Okay, moving forward, we do have two fantastic presentations this evening. I'm really proud of both presentations that we have coming up. You know, every year the Virginia Department of Health has awarded water treatment plants for their meeting the standards of the Commonwealth for health, quality, and clarification. Radford is among the best. We have the absolute best water team here in the city, and this is our 10th year of receiving the Gold Award from the Virginia Department of Health in Virginia. We have a representative here this evening. I'm going to ask that she go to the podium. Please introduce yourself, and I understand you have a presentation to make.
I do. So I'm Lisa Crabtree. I'm the Deputy Field Director of the Abington Field Office, the Office of Drinking Water. I've been the District Engineer. I've been the regulator for the City of Radford for 7 years now, and I'm very happy to once again come and present this award. So the 2025 Gold Award is for water treatment plant performance for excellence in clarification, filtration, and backwash. So there's 120 plus filter plants in the state. And of those 120 plus filter plants, only about 35-ish got the Gold Award in the state for 2025. So the fact that your water actually managed to get a Gold Award in everything that happens as far as the weather goes and everything else that happens is very, very amazing considering the age of your plant, and it shows a lot of effort on your operators. And the operators that you have are excellent operators. I've worked with Wade, I've worked with Brad, I've worked with Emily. They have been, they always reach out to me when there is a problem. With the new 2-hour reporting rule that the General Assembly enacted in the summer of 2025, it made their jobs a little bit more interesting. So they reach out to me anytime that there's a problem. The distribution guys also reach out anytime that there's a problem, and they do an excellent job. So we are very happy to once again, in 7 years, to come up here and present the award.
Well, I think that deserves a big round of applause. So why don't you all come on down front, and council, we can come down and join them. If I get real close. Even though they're headed out the door, I just have to say, we know we have the best water here in not only the New River Valley, but across the Commonwealth. Now, you all know we have the gold standard here in our community, and that's pretty cool. And please share that, because that is an important piece. We now have a presentation from the Radford Recreation Department to talk a little bit about what we've been doing. Charlie Goins, who's done such a fantastic job as the director, has been working diligently to get us back on track after Hurricane Helene. but also the fact that we are going to be celebrating Independence Day weekend on July 3rd in Bissett Park. Charlie, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and Council. First of all, we'd like to talk about our July 3rd celebration. As you came to the podium, or your seats tonight, there were some gifts that were there. Some American 250 sunglasses, some beads, and other things that will be given away. We reached out for people to help sponsor T-shirt giveaway. We wanted to give away T-shirts for the event. And we pretty much sold out all of our sponsorships within about 72 hours. Great. We had to turn people away because everybody wants to come be a part of it. And I can't be more excited for what the future holds for the city of Radford. So with that, we were trying to have around 15 sponsors. We ended up getting 20. So with the extra sponsors, we've got sunglasses and beads and glow sticks and glow necklaces and everything that will be given out as well with the T-shirts at our July 3rd celebration. We're going to have DJ playing music. We have the Domino Band will be performing live music. We also have the Glorylanders be singing the national anthem. The Patriotic Dog Show. Vendors, we have, I think it's 12 right now vendors, 7 of them food vendors. Then we have 4 or 5 craft vendors that have already signed up and want to be there. So bouncy houses, we're going to have games for everybody, for the kids. Everything's going to start at 4 o'clock. Fireworks start at 9:30. And so we're really looking forward to having the event. I haven't got to experience the July 4th celebration here yet with everybody. Last year was just fireworks. And so I'm really looking forward to how it used to be and how we can build it back up to where it was. So I'm looking forward to that. Any questions about July 3rd celebration?
Just thank you, and a wonderful way to kick off the 250th anniversary, the semi-quintennial celebration here in the city of Radford for the weekend on Independence Eve. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I do have one question, Charlie. Are vendors still, is there still an availability to be able to
Yes, sir.
have that? Okay.
Yes, sir.
And do they just need to reach out to Donna at the rec department?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Hurricane Helene, when I first started here, I saw the damage. And we had to make sure that we try to get our parks back in order, our athletic fields back in order, the dog park. And it took little by little, step by step, with everything that we were looking to do, with all the damage that I saw. I mean, it was already through, 6 months of damage before I got here. But we started on it. Little by little, it started with the athletic fields. So we'll go to the New River Valley Sports Complex first. The pads in the back were washed away or damaged. The fields were destroyed. We probably put in 4 inches deep of dirt, infield mix. We had a company come in, laser grade it, get it back to where it was, if not better. The high school softball team at Veterans, you'll see when we get there, they've had nothing but great things to say. They said they've never played on a field that was so smooth. And so our guys have really learned to take pride in their work. And that's one thing that we really strive in our department is quality over quantity. And we want to make sure that we provide something because they're called baseball and softball diamonds. And what I refer to that is people always remember, they won't remember the score, but they'll remember how that field looked. And they'll remember how it played. And so diamonds are forever. And so I try to tie those two in. New River Valley Sports Complex, as you see right there, we also had great donors step up and help us with our scoreboards. Every scoreboard was completely underwater. Every scoreboard got destroyed from the ground all the way up the insides, the guts. Every scoreboard in Bissett Park needed to be replaced and at Riverview. So Stifle, we want to thank Carilion Clinic. We also want to thank Mr. McGowan. They really helped us out. Stifle ended up helping us with 2 scoreboards, Carilion Clinic with 1, and Mr. McGowan with 1 at Veterans 2. So we can't thank them enough for what they did to help us with that. More pictures from the New River Valley Sports Complex. You can see the fence damage. It was rolled up, all the gravel from the parking lot. And now we've got the new fence back up with new fence capping. We've really taken care of the field. You can see the dirt that we added. And I try to get the same angle from the shots from where the dirt was to where it is now. So. And also at the football fields, you can see where the goalposts were ripped out of the ground. And so we got new goalposts and really working on getting the field back in shape. We really want to start using that field again for our athletic events. Sparky's Run. This used to be the shelter roof, from my understanding. So it was knocked off the concrete pad that's in the other picture. And if it wasn't for the tree, who knows where that roof would have went. But we was able to come back to the dog park. We put a smaller shelter up on the existing pad. We have, you'll see a couple pictures later on, you see 2 new picnic tables in there. We had so many of those washed away or destroyed that we ended up getting new picnic tables throughout the park. But Sparky's Run, you can see here that it was over the fencing, over the signs. You can see the debris, the fencing that was knocked down. We had to make some adjustments at time rebuilding the park. We couldn't put a 6-foot fence back up right away. We went with 4-foot fence just for the situation that we were in. And we wanted to make sure we could do what we could do to get the park back open. So I know it's not exactly the way it was, but it's open and people can still use it. And so that was our biggest goal. I've got the Friends of the Blue Ridge are also put in for their annual budget to help us out with the dog park and possibly help us with obstacle courses or whatever we want to do to put in there. So we're not done with Sparky's Run, and we're looking to continue to build on it and make it better. Community garden. We lost out on it last year, and as you can see in the bottom right, it's back up and running this year. From my understanding, they're already pulling vegetables out of there. So I believe they sold out. We had, I think, 3 spots, but there was people that already had a plot, so they went on and got the other 3, so it was completely sold out. And they want to know how we can make the area bigger and even grow the community garden. Completely underwater, you can see, and we replaced the fencing and replaced cleaning it up, along with on the back side, it was destroyed. And so guys have been down there cleaning it up and getting the fence repair. Affordable Fence really helped us out and get all of our fencing and everything back up as well. So Riverview Park, again, stifled with the scoreboard. Goalpost completely ripped out of the ground. We replaced all the goalposts. One thing that you notice, the goalpost that's ripped down, it is the same as the one we put up, but the new ones also have anchors on the back where we can put soccer nets up. So when it's not football season, we can put soccer nets up, and they're soccer goals as well. So they just didn't have those on the old ones. Playground, you can see in the picture on the left where it started ripping apart the coating and everything that was on the stairs. So we got new stairs and got that replaced and continued to make that a better, still not completely done with that because of the basketball court. So hopefully we'll be able to put that in a CIP later on and try to get the basketball court back up and get that running. So veterans picture, as you can see, was completely over the dugouts, completely submerged. This right here, that is the batting cage that was completely knocked down and completely taken away. So the softball team raised money, and they ended up putting a concrete pad themselves. They did that at the batting cage. And they turfed it. We got the new net, the new batting mat that you can see in there as well, put up the new fencing, and you can see how the field, what it used to be and how it looks now. made our guys make sure to take a picture after their last home game to make sure we can see how it was. That's what the numbers out on the outfield are for. So, but Coach Sam has had nothing but great things to say. Parents have had nothing but great things to say on how the fields play, and we're still continuing to use it for travel softball tournaments as of today. So, more pictures of the scoreboards. This is what it used to look like. You can see where the netting got washed down completely as well. But now we have those up at Veterans 1 and 2. Throughout Bissett Park, what the picture is on the left here, and I'll point at the white sign right here. That was one of those dumpster enclosures. It was completely washed away. All the fronts were washed off, taken down river, but the dumpster enclosures were completely taken out. So we rebuilt all the dumpster enclosures. There's 4, including the one at Sparky's Run. We enclosed it. I don't think people like going through a park and seeing trash. It's a pet peeve of mine. So I wanted to make sure that we got the gates back up the way they originally were. And thanks to Don Green, they had extra slats, and so we put the slats in it and everything to help hide that as well. And then we just painted the dumpster enclosures the same color as the slats, so it all looked uniform. I'm kind of big on being uniform. This right here is the walking bridge at Bissett. You can see where the tree fell down. This is fiberglass, the green railings. And when I was speaking with the fence company, they said it's going to cost you more to try to put fiberglass back in there than it would the aluminum rails. So we saved money by going with the black aluminum. There's also, I found out a little further down the park, closer to the other end, there's already black aluminum fence. So it kind of matches and helps tie that in. We repaired all of the fencing all the way down. It's complete, and you can see the difference from what it used to be. We used to have outfield fencing trying to hold off the area to keep for safety reasons, and you can see that that wasn't doing that well. But now that's up and running, and we have the new fence all the way up through the walking bridge from one end back down to the other side. More scoreboards. Now we're down at the far end of Bissett, down next to Shelter 3, where you have the large soccer field. And so we've got the field scoreboard replaced thanks to Stifle again. If you look in this left picture right here, you see the picnic tables. Well, the triangle, that's a soccer goal. I mean, all of our soccer goals got diminished. When I got here, some of our smaller soccer goals were held together with duct tape and some welding from the other employees from the city. And so we wanted to make sure that we got safety taken care of for our kids, and we want to make sure that we got new soccer goals. You can see the new picnic tables. They're spread out throughout Bissett Park. That is it for Helene repairs. So before I go to the next one, any questions on Helene repairs?
I'm just going to say thank you so much to you and the staff and to the Recreation Commission and all the volunteers, the donors, all the people who have helped. That is remarkable. We have talked about this, but until you actually look at the pictures and recall the devastation of 21 months ago, it's hard to understand how challenging that's been. And I just want to clarify, I believe that most, if not all, of the things you've just shown us are likely to be reimbursed with some federal money that we're awaiting. Some of it we've received, some of it we're still awaiting. But you all have done a great job of making sure that this was something that didn't overly burden the budget, the taxpayers, and folks here. Is that accurate?
Yes, it is. FEMA reimburses 75%, state reimburses 15%, and then the city is on the hook for 5%.
Well, and it was a terrible, terrible tragedy that all of us experienced at that time. City was very fortunate compared to some communities a little further in Southwest Virginia and North Carolina where homes and businesses and people's lives were lost. We didn't experience that. The tragedy we had was enough. I will say the glowing thing out of this tragedy not only has been the community spirit and resilience that we've had, but now we have reinstated some of the very best facilities that we had many, many years ago, just over time and use, have decayed and been challenged. Picnic tables, if some of those tables were original to when the park opened, and it was great to see that we have brand-new tables, and they've already been in use. So again, kudos, fantastic job. Thank you so much for all the work you've done.
Thank you. We are still continuing to hopefully continue to move forward with some other repairs as well before our timeline runs out in October to everything to get turned in. One thing that I did find out from Chief was the reason that we haven't been able to turn in little by little with the parks end of it in Bissett Park is that it was originally set up as the park instead of setting it up as Veterans 1, Veterans 2, and get reimbursed as you finish those. It was set up as the park. And so you have to finish it all to get turned in to get reimbursed. Is how come we couldn't do little by little? But that's here nor there. So, but I just want to let you know how come that's like.
Thank you so much.
Some of the outstanding projects that you're referring to.
Pickleball courts.
We hear that a lot. That was pickleball courts he just mentioned.
So
What is
hopefully
the
we'll-
budget? What's that looking like?
We budgeted our 5% in FY '27 for us to be able to pay for that. And so we are looking to hopefully move forward with a company that has been able to let us know that they're able to repair instead of having to rip it all up and rebuild.
Oh, okay.
And so that's saving us just on that probably $500,000. And I didn't think with what they explained to me could be done, but they said that they were able to do it a certain way. And they brought in the pickleball guru. I don't know his name. They just call him the pickleball guru. He built the pickleball courts down in Salem. He's building them through Roanoke. He builds them up and down the East Coast. And he's going to be the one taking care of it and being able to help us with that.
Did they give you an overall large budget of what that looks like?
Around 270. Without lights. We will not put lights back up right now to help save with cost.
Okay.
Lights are probably around $100,000.
Wow. Okay.
Great job, Charlie. That's-
Next thing, I called the Salem Ridgeacs, and I wanted to do something special for our baseball and softball players. T-ball, coach pitch, baseball, softball. We didn't have an opening night, but I still wanted us to have a Radford Little League night. And so we did that this past Friday. And so what we have here is pictures from the night to where every participant that was in T-ball all the way up through 12U was able to go to the Ridgeacs game for free. Every player got in for free, one coach from each team got in for free, and then they offered us discounted pricing for the rest of the family members. It was Star Wars night, as you can see. They got to walk on the field. They entered from the right field line. They walked down the warning track around home plate and exited out of the third base side. Kids were very excited. I was able to get there as well. And parents, coaches came up to Chuck. They came up to myself and said they really loved it. We tried to make sure we got pictures with each team that helped us out. We had over 100 players. I think out of our 15 teams, 13 committed to being able to go. So we had probably right around 100 players and coaches. And then with the family members, we had probably over 200 people there at that game that night. So that was fun to see. The whole first base side up top was nothing but jerseys and Radford. And as you can see, you see the Reds and the Braves. And one thing that we're going to be moving forward to next year is Radford. We are Radford. And so we're going to have Radford Parks Recreation on our jerseys. They can still be called whatever they want, Reds, Braves, the Dolphins. It doesn't matter. But it's going to be Radford colors. It's going to be Radford jerseys, Radford hats. Nicknames can still be called whatever they want. But we want to represent Radford, who we are, and we want everybody to know when we're there, who's there. So softball, T-ball, 12U, almost every age group was represented. there that night. Even got some pre-T-ball players in there as well. So, but great turnout, great feedback. Everybody was excited. And from my understanding, Chuck's still getting caught out on the fields and stuff, people still bragging about it. So this is going to be an annual event for us. We'll do it every year. Maybe the timing will be a little different next year instead of right at the end of the season, but we want to make sure that we do something for our community all the time. I'm looking to try to do something in each season, so whether it's football, I know try to get to a football game, whether it's Roanoke College, tag, whoever, there's things out there that we can do to help show our kids what they mean to us. And same thing with basketball. So I want to be able to continue to build that and let everybody know that, as I said, we are Radford, and we're looking forward to building that. So.
Just a quick question. I wonder how difficult it would be to include the high school team. I know they're not under our umbrella, but I wonder why you're having those conversations and making those arrangements if they wouldn't extend that to all of Radford baseball and softball players.
We can always ask.
Yeah.
I want to build our relationship with Parks and Recreation, with the school system, and with Radford High School because we are the feeder program. Mm-hmm. I know people play travel ball. I've part of it as well. But the recreation department is the feeder program. And what I want to build is a relationship with all coaches to hold summer camps for all of our sports, to have 1 week, this week is football, this week is basketball, and so forth during the day. The hard part, from my understanding from Mr. Wade, correct me if I'm wrong, but 80% of the coaches aren't teachers, and so it's hard for them to do day camps. But it's still another discussion that we can continue to move forward, have evening camps or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. But for them to teach what they're teaching there to the young kids, it's going to make it so much easier. The other thing that I want our coaches and our staffs to do, I want to have coaches clinics, not just players clinics. So when mom and dad are coaching the teams, that we're able to hear the same thing from them that the high school coaches want to teach. And so they're teaching the same thing that they're teaching at that level. And so I really want to tie all that in together. It's my goal anyway, so.
Well, hopefully that will be a future opportunity to start those conversations. And when we're filling the house with Radford, it'd be nice to get all those age groups in there. And I think it's always nice for our littles to see the older players too. That always means a lot to them, so. Yeah, might be a good part of a conversation that you have next year. But
Right.
That's wonderful. Thank you for doing that and taking the initiative.
We have goals, and we're not just, it's not, no, we can't do it. It's how do we do it? And that's what we're trying to work for.
Charlie, you're doing a great job, and you're bringing some great ideas, and we have a good rec commission, a lot of people that care and are invested and contribute, and it's exciting to see these things, and I know you're trying to grow it, and I'm really excited for the future of the rec department, and you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And I want to add my kudos and my thanks to you, again, not only from all of the repairs that we've had to make, but upgrading things, just like you did with the Little League night. I think that's fantastic. Now that we have our facilities in better shape, I would like to continue to explore what we can do. At one time, we partnered the city and Radford University to host the Spring Jubilee for Virginia high school sports. Would love to try to do that again. That was a fantastic way to get so many people to come use our facilities and people to be exposed to what we have here. And any other big programs like that that we're able to do, I think that's helpful. I know we've talked about, tourism of all kinds, and sports tourism is one of those pieces that we've hoped we could do more with here in the city. And I think there's a lot of great facilities. Ours have been upgraded and improved and enhanced. So thank you so much for all the work you've been doing.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Good news, good things happening, positive things, and I think it's always good to get a little shot in the arm with the good news and to be sure that we all share that news loud and clear. All right, moving on, we do have several proclamations this evening, and I'm going to begin with our first proclamation. You know, hosting a business in the city of Radford is not easy. It's not easy anywhere, but it's particularly challenging as demographics change, as populations change. And one business here in Radford has really shown a way to build community around the business and to keep it going strong for more than 40 years now. So I have a proclamation for Garrett's and Meg's in downtown Radford. Whereas Garrett's and Meg's was founded in 1986 when Garrett and Meg Weddle purchased Copenhagen's Menswear on Main Street in Radford, and whereas upon completion of renovations and stock modifications, Garrett's Menswear opened, and whereas in 1992, Meg's Specialty Women's Wear was established, filling the niche which was missing in the Radford area, and whereas together both shops quickly grew to become a cornerstone business on Main Street, Radford, and whereas in 1996, Garrett decided to branch out into real estate while Meg took over the day-to-day operations of the business, and whereas in 2003, Garrett purchased the buildings 2 doors up from the original store, allowing for expansion and a grand reopening after a year of remodeling and historic renovation. And whereas this location is where the store is located today, and whereas today Meg's Specialty Women's Wear has grown into one of the premier women's clothiers in the New River Valley, and whereas Garrett's and Meg's has long held a reputation for outstanding customer service and satisfaction, and whereas Garrett's and Meg's remains a staple shop on Main Street in Radford, servicing citizens and visitors throughout the region. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the City Council of the City of Radford that Garrett's and Meg's is hereby recognized for their years of service and dedication to the City of Radford as they celebrate their 40th anniversary year. Council, I'd like to make a motion that we adopt this proclamation. Do we have a second? Second. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
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 All right. And we have Meg Weddle here with us this evening. Meg, come on down front. Thank you. Do you have anything you want to say? I do. Okay. Do you want to go to the podium so everybody can hear you? Sure, absolutely.
I just want to thank the people of the city of Radford, and I want to particularly thank the council. Yeah, that might be helpful. You know, I look up there and, you know, I know your names are written, but you know, I know every one of you, Seth, David, and Jesse, and Kelly. And you know, I know you because you've been shopping in the store. You have been helping us through these 40 years to be there. And that speaks volumes. When I can look at the council and go, wow, there they are. And I look out in the audience too, and I see folks that have shopped with us as well. And you know, whether you have been here for 38 years, as you were talking about earlier, or you're here for 38 days, we would love to give the invitation for every one of you to come in the store and be a part of our wonderful success story in downtown Radford for a business. So I just want to say thank you so much for the opportunity to be here tonight, and to say thank you so much to our council. I walked in the room and I thought, I know everyone by name. and I could tell you an outfit that each one of you has. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm wearing one of them, so there you
I
go.
know, there you go, there you go. So thank you so much, and thank you. Please do come see us and continue another 40 years in downtown Radford. Thank you.
Thank you, Meg. Coming up this month, June 19th is nationally recognized to commemorate African American freedom and the ending of slavery in the United States. This day also emphasizes education, achievement, as well as a continued focus on addressing racial injustices in our society. We have a proclamation for Juneteenth. Jesse?
Whereas Juneteenth, also known as Freedom Day, Jubilee Day, Liberation Day, and Emancipation Day, is a holiday celebrating the emancipation of those who had been enslaved in the United States. And whereas on June 19, 1865, General Gordon Granger announced that slaves in Texas were free by order of the President of the United States. The announcement came 2.5 years after President Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation, which had become official January 1, 1863. And whereas freedmen in Texas organized the first of what became the annual celebration of Jubilee Day on June 19th, and whereas June 19th has a special meaning to African Americans and is called Juneteenth, combining the words June and 19th, and has been celebrated by African American communities for over 150 years. And whereas the City of Radford encourages everyone to observe Juneteenth as an opportunity to reflect, rejoice, and plan for a brighter future as we continue to address racial injustices in our society today. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Mayor and Radford City Council that June 8th, 2026 be known as Juneteenth in the City of Radford, and we urge everyone to become more aware of the significance of this celebration in African American history and in the heritage of our nation and our city. Council, I would like to make an offer that we accept this proclamation.
Council, we have a motion. Do we have a second? Second. A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye? Aye. Wonderful. And Juneteenth is an important holiday for us all to recognize. None of us are free if all of us aren't free, and I think that's an important thing to keep in mind. Also coming up this month is one of my very favorite holidays. I absolutely adore Flag Day. That has always been a favorite holiday of mine since I was a little boy, because it's so great to see the American flag everywhere and to think of all that it stands for. And we do have a proclamation for that as well. Kelly?
Proclamation Flag Day 2026. Whereas we celebrate the enduring strength and promise that the stars and stripes on our flag have always embodied as they fly proudly across our country and around the world. And whereas our flag tells America's story, it is an emblem of strength at home and abroad, synonymous with America as a force for good in the world. And whereas the flag stands for hope, pride, and progress, it waves for justice and equality, and it reinforces the promise of our democracy. And whereas our flag embodies the very soul of America, a soul that has endured because of sacrifices made by generations of Americans whose mission we must keep alive to ensure democracy endures. The Stars and Stripes belongs to all Americans and reminds us that much more unites us than divides us. Now, therefore, the City Council of the City of Radford does hereby proclaim June 14th, 2026 as Flag Day in the City of Radford and encourages the people of Radford to observe the day with pride as a time to honor the American spirit, to celebrate our history and the foundational values we strive to uphold. I would like to make a motion to accept this proclamation.
Thank you, Kelly. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second?
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
And happy Flag Day, everybody. Now, that is this Sunday. Todd, I did want to mention, that's Sunday, so I don't know. Are we going to try to fly the flags on Sunday? We'll get the flags up and look for those all across the city of Radford. That's important. Fly the flag at your house as well, and it stands for so many wonderful American ideals. Okay, moving on. This is a very special time. As you heard earlier, we're going to have our Independence Weekend celebration on July the 3rd. And it's a big celebration this year, the semi-quintennial celebration honoring the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. And we have a resolution for that as well. Whereas on July 4th, 1776, the 13 American colonies declared their independence, giving birth to a nation that declared all men were created equal and endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, among these life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And whereas the Declaration of Independence that was adopted on that day stands as a timeless testament to the courage and vision of those who sought freedom and inspired generations to uphold the ideals of democracy. From the fields of Lexington and Gettysburg, the beaches at Normandy, the jungles of Vietnam, and the deserts of the Middle East, young men and women have risen to the call of freedom so that liberty would not perish from this earth and tyranny would not reign over a free people. whereas the 4th of July provides an opportunity for we, the citizens of Radford, and all Americans to reflect on our history and honor the sacrifices of the men and women who have defended our freedoms and celebrate the values that unite us as a nation. And whereas the residents of Radford take pride in our community's spirit, history, unity, civic pride, and patriotism, and whereas our city continues to thrive through the dedication of its citizens who work together to build a brighter future while preserving the freedoms and principles we cherish. Now, therefore, we, the members of the City Council of the City of Radford, do hereby proclaim July 4th, 2026, the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, as a special day of remembrance for all the sacrifices our forefathers made to bring us this great republic, and encourage all residents to celebrate and to honor our great nation's heritage and to reflect upon the enduring principles of freedom and democracy. Council, I'd like to make a motion that we adopt this proclamation. Do we have a second? Second. A motion and a second. All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Absolutely wonderful. I hope you all have a fantastic Independence Day celebration. I hope you'll come down and celebrate on the 3rd with us, and then celebrate throughout the New River and Southwest Virginia areas all weekend long. It is a wonderful time for us to have time together. Okay. Well, we have so much going on this evening. We now have to open the floor for a public hearing for a right-of-way vacation on West Main Street and West Rock Road. Gary Duncan of GAD Management has submitted a request to vacate a portion of Rock Road located at the corner of West Main Street and Rock Road. The public hearing is required, has been duly advertised, so at this time we will open the floor. We do have one statement that was sent to us. Give me just a second and I'll pull that out. That was a question from Regina Meredith, who lives on Rock Road, and she stated, I know there is a discussion of right-of-way for the former Moog Aspen building at the corner of West Rock Road and Route 232. What purpose does the right-of-way serve, and what is the plan for this building now that it is, I believe, privately owned? Thank you. And that's from Regina Meredith. Is there anyone else who has a comment, question, or concern related to the public hearing for this section of Rock Road? Would you come up to the microphone so everybody can hear you? Thank you, sir.
Does this mean that the owners are proposing giving that area to the city?
No, that's right-of-way for the city. So whenever the city has a roadway or a public area, we tend to have anywhere from a few feet all the way up to 30, 40 feet, as it appears in this case, of right-of-way in case the road had to be expanded or there's a public interest for something to take place. This section is through their parking lot, and it's residual, I believe, of the existence of West Main Street and Rock Road and that building as it was constructed by our EDA. Todd, do you have anything you want to add to that?
No, just that tonight's action does not vacate the right-of-way. It simply advances the process by allowing the appointment of the Board of Viewers, who will evaluate the request and report back to council.
So tonight, we're really answering questions, hearing citizen comment, answering questions just like yours. If this right-of-way were vacated, we would be giving up our right to it, and it would be sold to the property owner for them to do with what they choose.
So they already built their parking lot on?
Yes,
The
so
city right away?
I believe, and I may be mistaken on this, and I don't know if there's anybody in the room even that recalls this. I believe that was a building the city helped construct as part of the Economic Development Authority. I may be mistaken, but I think that
so.
was one of our economic incentives at one point in time. But regardless, that was right-of-way for the city, and it was probably discovered as they surveyed for the building that a big portion of that was in the right-of-way. They may want to use that for something else other than their parking area.
Is this going to cost the city anything?
No, actually, they will compensate us for the right-of-way if they purchase it. Thank you, sir. Are there any other questions, comments, or concerns?
Just on that note too, as well, Todd, in our proposal, we did collect the $800 that would cover any staff fees and appointment fees as well. Is that correct?
Yes.
Non-refundable, right, okay, yep.
And I'll just add this. This is not uncommon for the city. We have a number of spaces in the city where either we have a fairly large right-of-way or we have come in possession of a piece of land. And if there is a private property owner that can make use of that, and it is determined through a board of viewers, through public hearing, through the council and staff review, that it is not in the city's interest to maintain that specific area of right-of-way, often councils, current and past, have decided to go on and allow that to be used for other purposes. Sometimes it's with someone's home, sometimes it's with their business, sometimes it is with an area they want to try to develop. Any further questions or comments?
Todd, as far as next steps, after the appointed board reports back to us at our next meeting, is that when action will be taken?
Yes, after they make a report to council.
Okay, thank you.
All right, anyone else for the public hearing? Seeing no one come forward, we will now close the public hearing at 8:04 p.m. And moving on, we do have some unfinished business. On January the 12th, 2026, City Council approved the extension of temporary stipends for the positions of Community Development Director, Transit Coordinator, and Building Official that were effective until council terminated. This ordinance will terminate the stipend on June 30th, 2026. Todd, do you have anything you want to state regarding the ordinance?
No, I have nothing to add.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions? So we are continuing to move forward with some of our staff organization in the city, and this is a portion of that process. Council, do we have a motion to adopt ordinance 1821.2, which is the termination of the temporary stipend?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Second. Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. That will move forward, and we'll have more information on that as we continue some of our city staffing reorganization moving forward. Under new business, we are moving forward with our recreation department. The Radford Recreation Commission has proposed several rate increases for fiscal year 2027. We have those outlined in our resolution, but again, Parks and Rec Director Charlie Goins is here and can answer any questions regarding these fees. And Charlie, I do appreciate, again, with all the hard work you're doing, but also helping us to modernize what we do within the recreation program to make sure we can fund it. So can you give us a quick overview and answer any questions that are there?
Yes, so one thing that we wanted to do, once I got here, people kept talking about they would like to see better stuff, whether it's uniforms or equipment or what the case may be. With better comes more, with cost. And so I put together or reached out to all other localities here in the New River Valley, not about for what they charge, but what do their citizens get for that charge? And so that's what the numbers and everything that you see in front of you, and I put in parentheses what they get. So what we are looking to do in the Rec Commission proposed is most of our fees are around $30. Football is $40, and they can pay an extra $10 to keep their jersey. So what we're looking to do is to do $45 for everything except for football and cheerleading. Those will be $60. And we're given a lot more. So in other words, there's no more $10 cost for football jerseys. They keep it. We're moving to reversible jerseys for basketball. As I stated earlier, I'm big on uniform. I'm big on nobody saying, why does that team have this and we have that? So it will be reversible uniforms for basketball, for everybody to be the same. Home team will flip it to the white side. The away team will flip it to the black side. It's going to stay the same. We will still take sponsors and everything, but instead of it going on the T-shirt that they've normally done, they can get a shooting shirt and put their logo and everything on it, and they give them a shooting shirt. But we're going to play other localities in uniform. We're going to play in reversible jerseys for basketball. Same thing when it comes to baseball, softball. We're going to dry fit material for the athletes, cooler, especially in the summertime. And it states everything that we would be giving away. We've been collecting cheerleading uniforms in the past and redoing them, and I'm not big on that. I mean, once they pay for their fee, they're keeping what they got. And so we will continue to move forward with that because I want people to wear their stuff outside. I want them to see, I'm Radford basketball, I'm Radford baseball. Whatever the case may be with whatever sport, cheerleading, it doesn't matter. Volleyball, wrestling, I want them to be proud of what they got and what they're wearing. And so we won't be we'll collect equipment back and football pants possibly, but I want them to keep, and that's the reason the fees going up very minimal, $15. Football is 20, but if you take away the jersey, it's only going up 10, and cheerleading is going from 30 to 36, but they will keep their uniforms starting this year, and their palms. So I want them to take them to high school games and support other teams in the high school, so.
I appreciate that, Charlie, and thank you. I know one of the things we've been striving for is better outcomes. And it sounds like that's what you and the Rec Commission are working toward, is better outcomes for the teams, better outcomes for the equipment, and everything along that line. When you first had mentioned this, we talked about it, and one of the things I was concerned about was, would we price anybody out of being able to participate? And you helped answer that question for me. Would you share that with the community as well?
Yes, anyone that is on Medicaid, as long as they come with their card, their fee is $10. That's it. There's not a percentage. It's $10. And as you can see, most everybody's about that same. Some people offer percentages and stuff. The other thing that we're going to also be offering that we haven't done in the past, Chuck is always trying to get coaches. Well, if we can't get a coach here, then we may not be able to do it. Well, if you're a coach and you're coaching your child's team, you can get 50% off your dues. So if you want to help save costs, want to come out and coach. Now, we're still going to vet. We're not going to have anybody that coaching baseball that doesn't know anything about baseball. We're still going to vet our coaches a little bit because if we're giving them something in return, we're going to want them to understand the game and everything as well. So we will vet our coaches a little more, but we are offering 50% discount if you coach in that season.
Appreciate all the hard work you've done on this, and I think it helped brings us in line with some of our peers. So that's good. Council, do you all have any questions?
I don't have any questions. I know we've had many discussions on what we can do to help our littles and the sports teams, and I've mentioned several people have come up to me, parents, and had some concerns. So I think this addresses a lot of that. I do think that it's nice for the parents and the players to show up feeling good and looking good, and that's something my husband always says. You dress for success. No matter if you're going into a boardroom or you're going out on the field, you need to feel good about yourself, and I like the consistency for sure. I think it's easy for parents. I really do like the fact that you mentioned the uniforms you can take home. You can wear them to football games and basketball games, out to play in the summer. I think that's a great idea. So I really appreciate everything that you're doing.
Thank you. The only, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. The only thing that we would look to softball and baseball, gray pants, because we don't supply pants. We would just ask just gray pants, don't have to have stripes. I know moms don't want white, dads don't want white pants to have to clean, so keep gray. And then basketballs, we just have everybody have to have black shorts because the white would go with the black. So that's the only thing that we would be asking, is try to stay as uniform as much as possible.
Well, and if you're able to find any common source that people can buy from for that, I know that's one thing I hear. People are scrambling, trying to run to all the different outlets, order online, whatever it is, to find something. If you all are able to help them with that, appreciate it. Seth, did you have something?
I just wanted to tie in and thank you overall for the culture you're trying to create and taking pride in what we do, and that's something that we're trying to build, and you're doing a great job. And I think that this is, I know we talked about it a lot with the commission and with here, and I think that this is a good idea, and the kids will take pride in having those uniforms, and I appreciate your efforts.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? All right, thank you, Charlie. Thank you so much. Council, you have a resolution for these fees. Do you have any questions before we move forward? Is there a motion to adopt?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second?
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you very much. At this time, we will move forward. The school board has a request to increase their fiscal year 2026 budget from $50,298,738 to $51,201,816. It's an increase of $903.78, which reflects additional funding and expenditure across 4 funds. So while we have a summary of that, Adam Joyce is here with us this evening. If you don't mind coming up to the podium, if you have anything you want to say about the funds, and if there's any questions.
Sure, I don't have anything to add, but I'm happy to answer questions.
Okay.
And also, I'm happy to defer to Ms. Long if needed.
Well, can you just briefly mention, so that folks in attendance will know, where is this funding coming from
So-
that is going into these areas?
So part of it is at the end of March of every year, we do an average daily membership of our students' attendance. And so if that number goes up or down, that changes our funding from the state. That's part of it. Also, there are grants that are funded throughout the year that may not have been accounted for at the beginning of the fiscal year that you guys would have approved. Those are also in this final number. It's no city money. There's no.
Well, that's just what I wanted to clarify, that
Okay.
we're not, it's not $900,000 of additional city investment.
Actually, it's $0 from the city. It's just money that we've had to sort of recalculate towards the end of the year to make sure that we're, that, I'm sorry, that we've triggered, so what, a certain number will trigger this budget amendment, and that's what we've done. It happens most years because we find money here and there, but in order, since you guys take care of our money, we have to ask for an amendment to the current budget.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments from council? I will say a public hearing is not required. Typically, anytime we do these kind of budget amendments, you have public hearings, but it's not required because this does not exceed 1% of the total original city budget appropriation. So that's why we are not doing a formal public hearing this evening. Council, any other questions or comments, or do we have a motion to approve the school board budget amendment request?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second?
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Carrie, thank you. I know this is a lot of hard work on your and your team's behalf, so thank you so much too. Up next, we have ordinance number 1833, which is a fire and EMS recovery fee. It establishes and implements a program to charge mitigation rates for the deployment of emergency and non-emergency services by the Radford City Fire Department for services provided and rendered by both fire and EMS. Todd, do you have anything you'd like to share with us regarding that ordinance?
Yes, the proposed program is intended to recover eligible costs from insurance carriers associated with emergency response activities. The ordinance is designed so that residents are not directly billed for covered services, so this will go to the insurance company.
Fantastic. Council, do you all have any questions regarding this ordinance and this new program?
I just want to reiterate that there are no charges. I want to make sure that if the folks in our community have an emergency, that they know to dial 911 and get the services that they need, that this is not going to be a bill directly to them. This is a bill to your insurance, and they pay it or they don't, but we're not going to be billing you. If there's an emergency, I don't want anyone to be remiss in not getting the support they need. So I just want to reiterate that.
Todd, in your experience, is it pretty standard practice for localities to have a billing system like we have?
Yeah, it varies. We do have other municipalities in the New River Valley that do have this exact program, and they are using the same company, the Fire Recovery USA. So we have municipalities here in the New River Valley that have used this. It's tested, and it's been tried and tested and seems to work well.
Okay, thank you.
Well, and I think we have to have the program in place to see if there is a way to recover any of that money. Again, nothing coming out of the citizens' pockets. This is not an additional tax fee or any kind of levy. This is merely us working with this organization to recover some of this and establish this fee. This may also help prevent additional tax increases down the road, as these costs typically have to be absorbed within the program or within the city in general if we don't have such a program in place. So hopefully insurance will help us with this. We'll see what happens, and to be determined once we get past this how successful it is. Council, do you all have any more questions, or is there a motion to adopt ordinance number 1833, the fire EMS recovery fee?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we have quite a little bit of business to take a look at for our boards and commissions. A number of appointments end on June the 30th, and we have received a breakdown of all of the open areas. Some of the current members who are serving in different roles have requested to serve another term. Others have wished not to be considered moving forward. And as such, we need to go through this. So what I'd like to do is maybe discuss each thing. If we seem to have a consensus on most of these, we can go on and make the appointments and then move forward from there. So with our Agency on Aging, there's nothing from Ms. Stapleton on her interest in continuing. I'm guessing we didn't hear anything?
I did not, but the director of Agency on Aging did copy her on the email. She just has not specifically responded, and I've tried to follow up, so I'll continue to try to make that effort.
And we do have an open position for the alternate as well. There have been no letters of interest for that particular agency, so council, would you all want to consider asking Ms. Stapleton to serve once again, and then we can try to determine if she is indeed interested?
Yes, and I think with all these names that have shown interest in other boards, if they don't end up on some of the ones they requested, maybe we circle back and see if there'd be any interest in being an alternate on this board.
I agree. I think that would be good. All right, moving on to the Building Commission, Bruce Van Arsdale. He's been on for 4 terms. He is interested in serving another term. Rick Henson is interested in serving another term. He's an engineer. He served 2 terms. And Chris Quessenberry is interested in serving another term after 4 terms. There were no other folks that were interested. Council, does that look like a group we want to reappoint to the Building Commission?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. EDA, this is a little more complicated because we do need to make several specific appointments. I'm going to ask that we move that to the very end of our process after we've gone through everybody else, and then come back to that. And then we do need to do a separate resolution specifically for appointments to the EDA. For the library board, we did have a new person reach out who spoke with both myself and the library director, Lauren Mears, who expressed interest in addition to submitting a letter. She is interested. Wilson Rankin has served 4 terms. He is interested in serving another term. Claudia Jones has served 2 terms. She's interested in serving another term. And Joss Asamobor has served as our teen representative, but we have a new young lady, Evelyn Fury, who is interested in serving as our teen representative. I would propose, I believe we have reached out. Lauren is very interested if it is possible to get her on the library board. I know she would appreciate that. I have not heard personally from some of the other folks. Council, do you all have any thoughts?
Would by putting her on there, would we take out someone that is currently serving?
We would have to bump somebody, yes.
I would be more comfortable the people that have been serving that are, maybe in the middle of a project. I mean, if they're wanting to continue, I would be interested in having them continue and keep the names for the people who are interested and keep them in mind for some other boards, and because we will have some openings.
Well, and that was something I was going to bring up, and I don't know if anybody else is doing this in the region. I know in some places they have associate members who are not fully appointed, but it's sort of almost like a member in training type program. I don't know if anybody in our area does that. Maybe we could check on that and see if that's possible, because I think that would be helpful to then have folks actually come and attend the meetings, observe what's happening, and then when there are openings, they're a little more well-prepared and able to move forward from there. For the Planning Commission, Barry Collier, who served one term, is interested in serving another term. Rob Grotman, and I believe he served 2 terms. I don't think he's just on his first term. He served once before, I thought. He was the council representative when he was on council and then has served 2. Doesn't matter. I just wanted to make sure we get it right for the record. And then Annie Pierce is serving her 4th term. All are interested in serving again. We do have letters of interest from Tom Bennett, Ken Smith, and Austin D. Vincent. Seth, you are our representative. Do you have any suggestions on that?
Yeah, I think it would be prudent for us to move forward with the people that are already on there. We're getting close to being able to pass our rezoning ordinance update that we're looking at. And I know that Dr. Pierce has been here for a long time, and I'd really think she deserves to see that through, as well as everybody on there. We have a good board, and so I think that moving forward, we're keeping them as is.
With some of these, do we have a limit on the number of terms people can serve, as far as you're aware, Melissa?
It's typically 12 years.
12 years, so.
Across.
And these are 3-year terms, so 4 years would max out?
Planning Commission's 4 years.
Okay, so that's 16 then.
Each of them, yes, each of
Okay.
them have different.
Is there a
term
statutory
limits.
issue with that, or are we able to override that?
Council has the authority to override.
Okay. Just wanted to clarify that. For the Recreation Commission, Sam Hubbard III, Josh Smith, and Rick Slavings are all continuing to serve. They're interested in another term. Tom Bennett, Larry Bernath, and Rachel Doyle. Larry and Rachel have expressed their interest to me as well for that. Council, I know there's interest in continuing with some of the same members, but again, this is where I'd like to see if there was a way for us to have additional participation so that we can get some new folks involved, because I do think it's important that we start to get some new people on some of these boards. Do we want to go with the group that's there and ask them to serve again, or to see if we want to add anyone else to this group?
To be honest, I'm familiar with a lot of these names, and I think that they really want to see the community do well and see growth. I would say I would love to see them approached about tourism.
Okay.
We're going to get that up and running, and so instead of them sitting in a spot that's, you know, not yet vacant, if they could be a part of something that we're trying to create and reestablish, if that would be their preference, I would love to see that.
Yeah, and being the council rep on the Rec Commission board, we do have a very good board who's active and engaged and brings a lot of good ideas. Rick is actually serving as our chair right now. So I feel comfortable reappointing those 3 as well.
Okay. Well, actually, I'm going to jump us. Oh, go ahead, Guy. Yeah.
I would support leaving it as is also.
Okay. Let's go ahead to tourism there real quickly. So tourism has been relatively inactive for the last few years. Kelly, I know you're our representative. Patsy, Paul, and Kelsey have served, but I don't know that you all have met during this time. Is that accurate?
I have not met on my entire terms on council.
So with that, we hope to ramp things back up for the tourism board. Jessica Johnson, Tom Bennett, Tara Kipps, Alba Alvarez have expressed interest, but also maybe we could reach out. Larry, I know you're here this evening. Maybe reach out to Rachel as well, and all of those individuals could potentially be appointed to serve if we were interested in doing so. We do have some representatives from different areas, for example, from the recreation program, from the Chamber of Commerce, and maybe some folks could fill those roles. Do we want to try to explore that with some of these names?
I think so, yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I would support that.
Is there, besides myself, is there supposed to be a city representative on the tourism?
I would assume the tourism
It
director.
would be Kim Repass, yeah.
I didn't see her name on here, I was just making sure.
Appointed, she's the city staff.
Okay, I'm just making sure that,
Yes.
okay.
Then Amanda's gone. I thought she was still here. Amanda has been on the board, but her term expired a couple of years ago, and the schools have a representative. So how about this for tourism, if this works? Let's reach out to the folks who've written a letter, and also to Larry, if you're interested, we can reach out and talk with you. Rachel Doyle, and to Amanda, she might be our school representative since she serves on school board.
She was getting clarification on that for us.
Okay, and we'll go from there. We do need to reach out to the Heritage Foundation. Charlie, if you'll consider someone from the rec department, who would be a representative, and then we'll need to reach out, probably Joint Commission, make a recommendation for a representative from Radford University, although I know Tom works for Radford University, so he might be able to serve that role. So it sounds like for tourism, we have a lot of names, but maybe we need to do a little bit of outreach, see where it goes, and let's bring that back up in July. Does that sound fair?
Yes.
Okay. For the Board of Zoning Appeals, Annie Pierce is our representative, along with Michelle Mullins. They are both interested in serving another term. Does that sound like a plan moving forward?
Yes.
Okay. And then for Virginia's First, I had been serving as a representative, and then Kim is serving as a representative. I'm no longer going to be serving as a representative. I would like to recommend that Todd Meredith, who has served on Virginia's First Board, serve as one of our representatives along with Kim, unless someone else has someone they would like to serve.
I think Todd would be great.
Okay?
I'd support that.
Todd, do you support you being on the?
Conversation about it, so I think he's in pretty good shape.
Just still ask him,
Yeah.
even though you had a conversation.
I enjoyed it,
Thanks.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so with all of these things in mind, let's go back to our EDA. Keith Weltons is serving his second term. He's interested. Carolyn Gaskins and Steve Harvey both said they didn't wish to serve another term. With that, we have Ben Bondurant, Tom Bennett, Ken Smith, Tosha Mosier, and Austin DeVincent. I know Ken and Ben would be excellent participants, and they represent two parts of our community that would benefit from being on the EDA. Council, do you all have any other recommendations for those roles?
When I was looking at it as well, I thought that Ben keeping Keith would be great. I think Ben would be great. I think that he kind of represents too more of the property management aspects and the construction aspect. I reached out to a couple members as well, and a piece that they would really like to have is a real estate component because of where they have some properties actively listed and that they're trying to move on. They're also with the Commerce Park. So in my discussions with a few members, they said that it would be really beneficial to them to see a real estate perspective on there. So to me, Austin really stood out. Everyone had a phenomenal resume. I mean, I think that we had really qualified people. I just think for kind of where they're looking to grow, that really stuck out to me.
Okay. Any other thoughts, Council?
I had the same.
My two were Bondurant and DeVincent also.
Okay.
I was going to say the same thing. It sounds redundant now, but I do think that the real estate side of it definitely is helpful.
Okay.
And Ben does a great job on Joint Commission.
All right. So for that then, do I understand the consensus of council is you'd like to see Ben Bondurant and Austin DeVincent take the terms of Carolyn Gaskins and Steve Harvey? Is that going to be an issue since we don't really have an industry rep in that group?
And Kim and I have been working through some of those. She went through the bylaws, and I did those just for what we currently have.
Right.
Kind of to round out what is being represented. It is not a spelt-out requirement, then be from a specific sector of industry, whereas building official, there are some specific requirements.
Okay.
Or the building code.
Yeah.
Board.
All right. Council, is that the consensus that you all would like to see Keith reappointed, Ben and Austin appointed?
Yes.
Okay. Well, what we can do then is, if we have a motion for the appointments as mentioned, do you pretty much have what we think we want to do tonight?
I do, and we need two separate. I need all the boards that we are on one, and then by resolution for EDA.
Yep, that's what I was just getting
Thank
ready to
you.
do. So do we have a motion to adopt the boards as we have worked through that
Well,
tonight?
I'm not very clear on the library board, though. I don't feel like we've,
I think the consensus was to reappoint the people who are interested in serving,
Okay.
and then Evelyn would be our new team
just
member.
making sure. Thank
Yep.
you.
Do we have a motion to follow council consensus on these boards?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second?
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And for the Radford Economic Development Authority, we have a resolution that the City Council of the City of Radford, Virginia hereby appoints Keith Weltons, Ben Bondurant, and Austin DeVincent to the Radford Economic Development Authority effective July 1st, 2026 and expiring June 30th, 2030. Is that the motion we want to adopt?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And for those who were not appointed this evening, again, I would like to explore some sort of associate membership within these boards and authorities. I know some of them are limited by statute, but I think it would be good to have some members attending, at least in a somehow participatory fashion. Many of these meetings are open meetings that you can participate in anyway, but to sort of have members in training so that we have some more folks lined up. I certainly want everybody who's expressed an interest to have a pathway to moving towards some things. Okay. All righty. Council, you all have the city council meeting calendar for 2026, 2027. Are there any thoughts regarding those meetings? It pretty much mirrors what we've done this past year with one meeting in July and August, one meeting in November and December, and then 2 meetings most months until next May and June. We will have many special meetings called during that time as we work through some things related to planning, as we go through our audit reports and things along that line, and as we work through budget season next year. But are these the meetings you all want to adopt moving forward? Do we have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, moving forward and back, looking at our right-of-way vacation for the property that is located on West Rock Road and West Main Street, we do need to appoint a board of viewers. Earlier this evening, we had our public hearing, and we are looking at going with that. Do we have some folks we'd like to appoint? I'd like to recommend Bart Castleberry as one member of the board of viewers.
Bill Fleischer's done that before for us, hasn't he?
Yep, Mr. Fleischer.
I'd recommend we ask him again.
Okay.
Great.
And usually we have one more. There's no requirement. I think we can have the 3, but if only 2 can make it, we can do that too. But let's see.
Who did we have the last time? Does anybody remember?
Jennifer Bondurant has served both. Who has? Abram, yeah. Abram Williams has helped. Anyone else you all want to consider?
Either of the 2 of those would be great. I'd be comfortable moving forward with any of the combination.
Okay.
Probably have a conversation with them to
Yeah.
see.
I think we'll have a conversation with everybody. We can appoint them, and then if
To make
somebody
sure.
turns us down, we can figure out something.
Okay.
'Cause we haven't
Usually I
talked
like
with
to,
anybody.
before we appoint, I like to ask them first before the
My heads up.
appointment.
Well, do you want to wait until July?
I'd
Or do
feel
you
more
wanna
comfortable approaching them and then making sure that we're appointing someone who wants to do it, opposed to appointing someone that may have no interest.
Okay, is
Well,
there,
Can the motion be for the 2 we mentioned, and then Jennifer as the third, and then as they fall back, if any one of those 3 say no, to Abram?
I mean, I think that can work, but we wouldn't appoint anybody unless Todd was, or Melissa. Was there any urgency to this request for the right-of-way vacation?
Not that I'm aware of.
Why don't we just ask folks and then put this on the agenda for the July meeting? Okay? Council, we have several appropriation ordinances, and if it pleases council, what I'd like to go through is read all of these, and then we can approve them all at the end. I know there may be some questions regarding each one, so we can ask questions about each one, but then we can just approve them all at the end of the reading. Appropriation Ordinance 1815.37, we would be amending Appropriation Ordinance 1850.22. These are DMV bonus adjustments. On December 22nd, 2025, Council approved AO 1815.22 in the amount of $150,893 to provide bonuses to staff using the Treasurer's portion of DMV funds. The AO budgeted these funds in the Treasurer's Department under DMV and expenditures. It needs to be allocated to the various departments' personnel accounts across all funds. Appropriation Ordinance 1815.38, Library State Aid. We were originally estimated at $234,526, but good news, $237,763 was officially awarded. This is an increase of $3,237. An additional $846.81 was added to the fourth quarter to reflect remaining money from another library that lost its state aid. The total requested adjustment is $4,084. Appropriation Ordinance 1815, the Paul Brune Historic Revitalization Grant for Glencoe Mansion. They've been awarded this award in the amount of $225,000, which are used to repair damages, prevent water infiltration, and to work toward the restoration of period details. It will make the site more accessible for the people of diverse physical needs. And then finally, Appropriation Ordinance 1815.40. This is firefighting equipment, and we receive funds each year from the Department of Fire Programs through Aid to Localities. These funds are distributed to each locality for purchasing equipment, fire trucks, and training aids to help with day-to-day operations of the department. We request that council allocate funds to purchase fire hoses, nozzles, pike poles, and positive pressure fans. So, I will ask this, Todd, for the use of the firefighting equipment, $47,550. Have you and the chief had a conversation? This is the best use of these funds with all of the needs that we have, including the fire truck and some other things related to the fire department?
I spoke with him. The items that he has listed there, the fire hose, he says they are needed. And I do know once the fire hose starts to deteriorate, it needs to be replaced as well as the other items.
Are any of these items able to outfit the new truck? Because I know that was one of the issues, is we didn't necessarily have all the hoses, pieces of equipment, things like that, that we needed for the truck that was purchased.
The only way I assume so.
Okay.
Yes, I would have to confirm that.
I just wanted
whether
to be
it is on the
sure
new
if
truck.
that's possible. Are there any questions regarding any of the appropriation ordinances 1815.37 through .40? Council, do we have a motion to adopt 1857.37 in the amount of $506,000? It's an amendment, $150,893 to provide bonuses. Appropriation Ordinance 1815.38, which is an additional $4,084 in library state aid. Appropriation Ordinance 1815.39, $225,000 for the grant for Glencoe, and 1815.40, $47,550 for firefighting equipment. Is there a motion to adopt?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Any further discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Having heard 4 affirmative votes, we can dispense with a second reading if so desired. Is there a motion we do so?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Todd, what do you have for us this evening?
I'd like to start by congratulating the water treatment plant staff. They are amazing. The fact that they're getting their 10th award in a row, that just speaks to their professionalism and the top-notch operation that they run at the water treatment plant. They give us reliable drinking water every single day. And I'm glad to see that they were recognized. Wanted to just invite everyone out, remind them about the July 3rd celebration. And I'd also like to thank Charlie and his staff for working so hard with other staff members to get that organized. I'm very excited to see everyone out there at the event. Staying with that theme, the Hurricane Helene recovery efforts, I do want to thank Charlie. And I thought a key word when he was presenting, he said Don had some extra slats, so we used that for the fence. I just want to bring that to the foreground. They work together. 2 department directors coming together to solve a public problem, and to be efficient with our resources. So I love to see that. Thank you for all of your work on the Hurricane Helene recovery efforts. I do think that exemplifies, Radford's resiliency and the strength of this community. I think it aligns right with that. Looking forward to finishing that project with you all. The Finance Department, I just want to talk a little bit about all of the hard work they've been putting in. They are very close to the fiscal year 2025 audit, having that complete. They are currently in the middle of working with Brown Edwards on the forensic audit as well. They are getting us set up to start the new fiscal year with the turnover of the turning everything over for the new budget. And tomorrow we have a meeting with DHCD to discuss the next steps with the APA's fiscal distress designation. So we'll be meeting with them. That meeting will include a discussion about next steps, what that looks like. They're going to, for approximately 2 hours, talk to us about how we view things through our lens as well. And it's my understanding they'll come back with a recommended timeline and course of action that they are considering. Summer is a busy season for all municipalities. We're going to be working on infrastructure projects, facilities maintenance, and just to mention a few, we do have a project that we'll be getting some more information out about, but it's to repair some Hurricane Helene damage down in the park and some erosion. It's near the bridge at Shelter, I'm losing it, Shelter.
Near Shelter One, yeah. We're going to be working on the bridge that crosses over Conley's Run where it intersects with the New River.
Thank you. Yes, that should be starting in the next couple weeks. We do have some HVAC repairs that are budgeted. We're going to work on for the municipal building. So if you see staff and some contractors up there working, we are going to hopefully get that repaired so that it works efficiently. We did have an automated mower delivered today. Staff are getting trained. Charlie approached us with that a couple months ago. And this mower, it does not require anyone to be on the mower while it's in operation. It uses GPS technology. Once the mowing area is programmed in, it'll mow the field without anyone on it operating it. It'll also mow angles, designs into the field, and it calculates the most efficient way to mow the field. Looking at preliminary numbers, it'll reduce the cost of mowing that field, the actual action of mowing it, by about 75% from having someone sit on the mower while it's mowing. What that means for the city and its operations, number one, quality. It's an automated mowing system, so it's going to mow it more consistently. Every time it's out there, it should be a good, consistent, quality mow, and we can mow it more often. The second thing it does, in addition to the savings while it's mowing, we can deploy our staff to other areas. Those other areas, rather than sitting on the mower, we can deploy them to other infrastructure needs or other mowing projects. The city does currently have a few mowing contracts, and we're going to explore the possibility of shifting the mowing responsibility to some of those areas as well. So I'm very excited about that. It's just a trend that we're trying to implement, and Charlie's been very proactive with trying to get things automated, use of technology, improve quality, and be the most efficient we can be with taxpayer dollars.
Can I ask a few questions?
Yes.
What areas are we thinking we may deploy, Rosie, our new mower? Okay. Does it have some way of tracking it to make sure it doesn't decide to just go rogue and drive into the river or drive into somebody's car? Or
If it goes outside the boundary, it automatically.
Okay, good.
If anybody walks up to it, it has sensors and cameras. It is always recording what it's mowing. If anybody walks up to it, it will cut off.
Okay. Just worried about kids or animals or, you know.
It will, if the grass is too high, it will not mow it. You will have to mow it manually.
Okay.
Called them and said, hey, robotic mower hit my. I looked at the video that recorded, and it showed.
Funny. Okay.
It keeps track
comes to athletic facilities is you have to cross mow a lot. So in other words, march your mow this way. With this and set it.
I think that's,
Going out and trying to
yeah.
we're going to give a hot.
Yeah, I know that was some concerns with some parents, soccer, football, playing and things like that. So I think that that's a great way to utilize it for sure. It sounds like it's going to be great and consistent and give your guys some much needed time to go do some other areas that are more manual.
And it is a hybrid, so not only is it autonomous, it can also be done manually.
Okay,
So if we see something
great.
done as well, it can be.
Thank you.
One more item to add, when I was out there with Charlie during the demonstration, there's a remote that's with it that whoever's weed eating while it's mowing, they can have an emergency stop button, so they can hit that at any time. And our standard operating procedure is anytime anyone walks out onto the field where it's mowing, they're going to stop it.
Well, and I just wanted to add, when this came up, this is a perfect idea. This is something that we had looked at several years ago as a possibility because it has been almost impossible to keep a mowing crew for the city on a regular basis. And so we've had to farm a lot of this out to mowing companies, and there's been a lot of expense associated with it. Charlie, I believe within a couple of years, we'll realize the cost of the mower with the savings we'll experience. Is that what they're projecting for us? They already have a program with Green that if you go in and mark each field for what it tells you how many acres it's how long it would take a regular mower, how long it's going to take the automated mower to do it, and it already gives you the cost savings and everything. I think that's fantastic. And ultimately, not only is this a better quality outcome, better quality product, simply because it is a more sophisticated modern machine, it's going to be a cost savings ultimately in the long run and a better expense, better use of our expenses. So that's fantastic. Todd, what else do you have?
That's it.
All right, and I just wanted to point out one quick thing. You mentioned the audit. We've asked that for July, we get an update from Brown Edwards. I think you're going to try to get them on the agenda, correct?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. We don't have any information to share right now. I know it's frustrating for a lot of folks, but until we have more information to share, we're going to try to have the representatives from Brown Edwards to come give us an update and help us understand where they are, whatever they have learned at that point in time, and when we can expect some additional information. But I don't want anybody to think that we've forgotten about any of this as that comes up. Guy, what do you have for us this evening?
I have nothing.
Okay, thank you. Seth, what do you have?
I'll just be very brief, and again, thank you to our water treatment plant. They knock it out of the park every single year. They run a great program, and they have for a long time. Charlie, thank you for all the updates that you gave us. I'm looking forward to the 4th of July celebration as we look to get ourselves back into that. That's always been a big part of Radford's culture, and to be able to start to see that come back is a good thing. Todd, you've already answered the question I had on the audit updates. The other question I had is for our Vector truck. Do you have any updates on it?
I do. Don has requested that the truck be returned. It's been fixed. They can use it. There's one issue that does not affect the operation. It'll save us some money. I can get the numbers of what the final cost is to you in the coming days.
Perfect. But it is on its way back.
Yes.
Are we still leasing the other one, though, during this time?
He's terminated the lease, and there was a required payment. I can't remember for the time period, but he had to.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only other question that I had, and if you don't have the answer right now, maybe, but how is the conversion with Munis? Is that still progressing? I know that, and did everything go smoothly as far as the tax tickets? I know that we were a little bit worried about that.
So I know there have been a few hiccups with getting it fully up and going. It's my understanding that they're still on pace to have it fully implemented and up and running in June, this month. But I'll provide an update at the July meeting on it as well.
So that the anticipation would be for the December tax tickets, everything's on one system.
That's the anticipation, yes.
Okay.
And it should be on that system well before then.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. That's all I had. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Kelly, what do you have?
giving us some information on New River Day. That sounds amazing, and I hope it's well attended, and we continue to do that on June 27th. And kudos to the water treatment plan. You guys did an amazing job and continue to do so, and I really appreciate all your hard work. Charlie, I've said thank you a million times. You're doing an exceptional job, and I know that all of the changes that you've made and the hard work definitely are going to be shared with by everybody in the community. I do encourage everybody to honor Flag Day by donating a flag to our Glencoe lawn through the Rotary Club. That might be something that Jesse will also make a comment on, but that's a great way to do it. That's one of my favorite traditions in the city that I really appreciate. And I hope everybody enjoys our 4th of July celebration that we've had. I know we've worked really hard to get everything up and running again and have fireworks and do more of the traditional thing that we used to do. And thank you to all of the sponsors. Wow, all the sponsors in 72 hours, and then we gave additional spaces. That really shows how we can come together as a community and, and show our pride in our city and our country. So thank you.
All right, thanks, Kelly. Jesse, what do you have?
All right. Well, with my Department of Social Services Board, I'm excited to say that we did approve an adoption. So those are always our bright moments. On the flip side of that, in 1 week, we did receive 14 CPS reports, and 5 the week prior. 14 is what we would maybe see in a month, give or take, and we saw that in a week. 11 were at high risk, 9 involved our police department.
Was there any trigger, any commonality, anything going on?
No.
Huh?
I think that we're seeing more cases, and the cases that we're seeing tend to be a little bit more severe than we've seen in the past, and I will talk to you about that next. My CPMT meeting, we were hoping to be below budget by $85,000. We have just recently taken 1 child into service, and for 1 month, that is costing us $168,000. So it's very costly depending on the services that each child needs. That does not sound right, so I think that's for the year, I'm hoping. But just to show you, you just never know from month to month. That's why we always have to budget extra in that account, because you have no idea what level of services a child's going to need. A Tribute to Heroes meeting. You see the flags are flying. You can still buy flags. You can go online. We also have flyers out front, or get a hold of Scott at Glencoe. He'd be more than happy to help you as well with that. During Memorial Day, we did have our opening ceremony for our Tribute to Heroes field. It was very, very well attended. The weather didn't always cooperate. The mayor spoke and did an exceptional job, as he always does. And thank you to everyone who's supporting by getting a flag and honoring and donating it to someone that you care about. Thank you again so much for that. We had a DORA meeting in Withville. More to come on that. That's still a little bit in discovery mode right now. I want to thank the school board for creating an additional perk for our city employees. That goes a long way, and we do appreciate that. I have on here to mention Charlie as well, not to be redundant, but you were handed quite a challenge after the flood, and you certainly have stepped up. You've risen to the occasion. You've been creative in solutions, understanding that there are some financial restraints with some of the things we want to do, but I appreciate that you have looked outside of the box, and you continue to do so even for July 3rd to make that a reality again, things that we enjoy and we've come to expect and look forward to. So thank you for that. Also to Jesse Kelly, it's always a wonderful thing to see community members stepping up and taking initiative to create some of those opportunities organically. So again, I hope to see everyone there. I plan on attending. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the Heritage Foundation with the historic revitalization grant of $225,000. That's significant. And just to point out that a lot of the restoration that money's been used for are things that really would fall upon the city to do. So they are actively, this entire board comes together and they really do look at all resources available. So thank you to them for that. Water treatment plant, it seems like our water folks catch a lot of grief, and I think that our citizens don't fully understand the success that we do have being a gold standard and the dedication of that small but mighty department. So I would like to tell them thank you so much for all that you do. And thanking the police department as well. They have had a very challenging few weeks, if not couple months, few months, and I just want to thank them for their service and for all that they're enduring out there. It doesn't go unrecognized. I know it can be difficult to come to the podium during public comments and speak to us. I've had several people that will call me and be a little bit intimidated, but I have to say to the folks that do come up and communicate with us, it is so appreciated, because I think all of us would tell you that, you know, we are not born with all the answers. We're community members up here trying to do our best to represent our community, and to have different ideas presented to us, I think we all appreciate that. Even if they don't necessarily always align with our beliefs or how we would vote, it's still an important process, and I thank you for standing up and doing that. My last thing is I'll see everyone on the 3rd.
All right. Thank you very much. I just briefly wanted to mention a couple of things. The Memorial Day ceremonies here in the city of Radford, I want to say thank you to the Veterans of Foreign Wars and to the American Legion for all the work that they did to help facilitate that, as well as all the volunteers, all the folks at Glencoe Mansion, the Radford Heritage Foundation, the Daughters of the American Revolution, and the Radford Noon Rotary. These are really incredible events that our neighboring communities envy. They are wonderful programs that are held here in the city of Radford that, you know, while it may celebrate the lives of the people we've lost, it also reinvigorates our American spirit. And I think that's a really important part of all of this. You know, we talked about what are we doing for the 250th birthday of our country. I think the things that we do monthly, weekly, daily, yearly are those things that we keep in mind as important traditions. Although we have a wonderful celebration planned for Independence Weekend, and I think that's going to be fantastic on July the 3rd. I also am excited for the Mary Draper Ingalls Festival coming up the last weekend of July. That is going to bookend July as a really celebratory month here in the city of Radford, so please put those things on your calendar and plan to be a part of them, because they are an important part of our story, an important part of our ongoing celebration of our community, and just absolutely wonderful things going on. Remember the Farmers Market every Saturday down at Glencoe Mansion. We want people to participate. Congratulations to Meg Weddle, Garrett's and Meg's. You know, 40 years is not easy. We have a couple businesses in Radford who have survived for many, many decades, and they do that by building community around the business. But so often it is going in and picking up a little something. If you have a gift, if you have a need, if you have something to share with someone, helping out where you can, because that helps all of us. And it really is a service to the community to have a business in the city in addition to the personal business portion of it. The last thing I wanted to share this evening was a letter. I'm not going to get into some of the details because it's fairly personal information, but Larry Williams sent me a letter that he had sent to our police department about the work of some of our officers and how incredibly amazing and professional the officers were in a very difficult situation. It is so heartening to read these things and to be able to share those with the community, that we have some of the most outstanding professionals that you will ever find here in this city. You heard the work tonight from Charlie, from other representatives of the city, from so many people who are doing the diligent work to try to keep moving us forward, even in very challenging times. And I wanted to say thank you to everyone. Specifically, thank you to Chief Holdaway and the police department as we received that recognition of your just ongoing outstanding excellence. We do need to go into closed session for a couple of items, and we will wrap up the meeting that way. So you all are welcome to stay and wait. We're going to close things out in here. and go from there. So Seth, would you take us into closed session?
I'd like to convene a closed meeting for discussion or consideration of the investment of public funds where competition or bargaining is involved, where, if made public initially, the financial interests of the governmental unit would be adversely affected, specifically to discuss ready agreement, Virginia Code 2.2-3711A6, discussion, consideration, or interviews of prospective candidates for employment, assignment, appointment, promotion, performance, demotion, salaries, disciplining, or resignation of specific, public officers, appointees, or employees of any public body, and evaluation of performance of departments or schools of public institutions of higher education where such evaluation will necessarily involve discussion of the performance of specific individuals. Any teacher shall be permitted to be present during a closed meeting in which there is a discussion or consideration of a disciplinary matter that involves the teacher and some student, and the student involved in the matter is present, provided that the teacher makes a written request to be present to the presiding officer of the appropriate board. Nothing in this subdivision, however, shall be construed to authorize a closed meeting by a local governing body or an elected school board to discuss compensation matters that affect membership of such body or board collectively, specifically to discuss city manager's evaluation, Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A1.
We have a motion to go into closed session for the reasons stated. Do we have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please respond by saying aye.
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 Okay. Thank you all very much.